So the other day I wrote this article on LinkedIn, and I got some pretty good feedback from the article. So I wanted to put it in video form so I could share a lot of information that I shared about the common pitfalls in land development. So all of my videos, for the most part, are intended to be educational. I want to be helpful to the community as a whole, and understanding all of the traps that could be in developing spec homes and new development projects. So let me just pull this up for you guys. All right, so I'm gonna go through this. So like I said, I wrote this article on LinkedIn. It was the common pitfalls in land acquisition and how to avoid them. All right, so I'll just go over what land acquisition is. Land acquisition is critical to real estate development. The right parcel can lead to success, while the wrong one can cause delays and losses. Let's explore common pitfalls on how to avoid them. All right, so when you're looking at a piece of property, it's very important to have the right lens on. And we're going to go through this and really kind of dive deep into what are the do's and what are the don'ts, and how you should be looking at land acquisition moving forward, right? So overlooking due diligence, right? So that's a pitfall for sure. Title searches, making sure that you search the property, making sure that you're dealing with the proper owner to sell the property, and making sure that the property doesn't have liens or different things that encumber the title. So you want to make sure that the title is going to be clear. You always want to do a land survey to verify the boundaries of that piece of parcel. So issues that you could run into, I'll tell you the story right now. They're building a 22 unit townhome community right next to me, and apparently this lot has been vacant for a long time. And apparently, when our building built the road, it encroached on their parcel. So that didn't come about until later. So then now the attorneys are involved in trying to remedy this situation after the fact. Now there's an issue here. There's certain type of drainage that was already prepared for that little bit of roadway, right? So now they're going to find a solution. We don't have the solution yet, but this is another reason why having a land survey is going to be very important. Environmental assessments. So there could be contaminants in that particular land that needs to be remediated, and you're not going to know that until you do that environmental assessment. And the last thing that you're going to want to do is to purchase a property and then find out there's some sort of contaminants, and now it's costing you tens of thousands of dollars to remedy that, or there's a certain type of rock that doesn't allow you to build. So you want to know these things in advance, and that's why we do things like soil testing, right? So they go down 20, 30 feet to find out exactly what is in the soil, and how to make sure that the structure is supported correctly. All right. Misjudging zoning and land restrictions. Researching zoning clarifications, understanding permissible use for the land. You can't just buy a parcel of land and do whatever you want to it. There's going to be restrictions. There's certain zone requirements. Definitely, you want to be checking with um, your zoning board and see exactly what are they going to allow, right? So a good thing that happens is if they are allowing certain types of projects in that particular neighborhood, then there's a good chance that they might allow that for you, but you may have to do what's called a variance, which is go in front of the board and argue your case, and we'll get to that a little bit later. So review comprehensive plan, check the future zoning changes. So every municipality has a city planner. And the city planner is looking out into the future, sometimes 10, 15, 20 years into the future, and they'll say, hey, listen, this area is prime for rezoning. This area is prime for redevelopment. So we're going to need to do certain things and rezone it a certain type of way to allow for this change to happen. This is what the gentrification changes look like. So they might designate a certain area. They say, hey, listen, we want to redevelop this area. We want to clean up the city. So we're going to allow certain type of mixed use sky rises and stuff like that in this particular area. So the former, whether it is homes or duplexes or whatever, are going to need to change. So those are the types of things that happen. All right, consult with experts. So if you are going to be developing land, the strategy to developing land is having a team of experts that know the market and know what they're doing, right? You don't have to, as a developer, you don't have to have all the answers. You just have to have the right pieces, right chess pieces, right? Often attorneys, land surveyor, land use attorneys, it's a number of different engineers, architects. There's a number of different pieces that you need to move a project forward in an efficient way, and that's having the right experts. All right. So ignoring access to utilities. Ignoring access and utilities and availability. So earlier in the video, what I told you about was this roadway, right? That's the access, right? So the access to the property or access behind the property, you need to have a certain type of easement for utilities, and for us, it's FP&L. But these are the types of things that you need to plan for and be looking towards the future. So that could be a pitfall for you. So legal access, verify roadway easements or direct road frontage, utility connections, check for water, sewer, electric, and internet. All of these things need a path. That's why there is an easement. All of these things need a path to come into the structure. So if you are developing, what needs to happen is you have your wet conduit and you have your dry conduit, which is electricity and internet. All of that needs a access point. So infrastructure costs, factor in expenses for extending utility lines and building infrastructure. So anytime that you are building a structure, there's going to be some changes that are going to happen, especially if you're building more than one unit. If it's a single family home, there's probably no changes to the particular area. But once your development grows and it's 4 units, 8 units, 12, 16, there are going to be some changes that has to happen to the infrastructure to allow, one, for the additional traffic, the additional sewage lines that need to run off of the property. And you need to anticipate that there's going to be costs for some. So there might be things like sidewalks that need to be added. There might need to be additional lights, or they might even ask you to pay for a stoplight or something like that. Or there's a number of different things that could be called for, and it's going to be good for you to know that in advance. Underestimating site preparation. So the site preparation is one of the biggest parts of land development. So if the topography is off, let's say there's some areas that are low or this area has never been developed before, then the site preparation could be very big, and it's going to be good for you to know what that looks like. So geographic surveys, accessing soil. All right, so they do a soil test prior to development. That's going to tell you exactly what needs to happen there. Grading and clearing, estimate costs on land preparation. Grading is for runoff, right? So they're going to grade the property, the land, a certain type of way that allows for rain runoff away from the structure. So that's what's going to be very important there. And clearing out any debris or settlement that is not supposed to be there. Also, civil engineering review. Analyze sites, topography, and hydrology. All right. So neglecting market research is going to be very important. That market research, this is a numbers game. All right. It's all about the numbers. All right. So doing the market research, local market demand, can I sell this property? Nearby amenities, what are people expecting when they purchase this particular property? Population growth, is the area growing or is it shrinking? Right, California is shrinking, Florida is growing. I'm in Florida's always growing, but there is an exit as well, but because of the weather and some of the tax advantages, it's constantly growing. All right, economic trends. All right, is that particular, are there companies coming into the particular area? Is there like Amazon or other companies coming into the area? You need to know those type of things. So the market research is going to be very important. All right, another pitfall is rushing to purchase the purchase process. All right, so I'll give you a example. I was looking at a parcel, and it was a home, it was a church that sold part of the parcel. I knew it well because there was cows there all over the place. All right, so a developer bought it, and he was looking to subdivide it into 1 acre lots so he could put a lot of homes on there. But the city only allowed 2.5 acre lots, and then now, because they allowed 2.5 acre lots, that means those properties in South Florida need to be estates. All right, so that's a very different game. It's a very different buyer. It's a very different price point, which is very important for you to know. And what happened is, so the developer bought it. He found that bad news about that particular parcel. So he's looking to sell it. But then what he wanted to do is make the timeline very short. The due diligence period, it takes a long time in new development. So anywhere from 90 to 120, sometimes 6 months. So rushing to purchase it without having all of these clear lanes, whether it's the soil testing, whether it's, the market research, whether it's the municipality giving you the green light on it, is going to be important for you to know. Another thing for you to know is a lot of this is you're paying these expenses prior to closing on it, because you want to make sure that this will work the way that you want it to work. So evaluating thoroughly, take time to assess all aspects of the property. Be willing to walk away. That's probably one of the most important things. Be willing to walk away from the deal. Sometimes the best deal that you do is the one that you don't, is because it saved your shirt. You didn't know that then, but later you find out, wow, I really could have dodged a bullet. So being able to walk away means that you just have discipline to do what you're supposed to do. All right, consult with your team. Like I said, that's agents, attorneys, engineers, before deciding. Another pitfall, ignoring community and government regulations. All right, engage local community, start early in the process, build rapport. All right, so when you become a real estate developer, what you're looking to do is you're a community builder, right? You're not coming in there to bulldoze. And so when you put your stamp on something, you're there to make those relationships and build community. That's what real estate developing is truly about. So meeting government officials, understand regulations, and gain support. I would highly recommend that you go to the city planner, go to the city meetings. They make it even easier for you now. They post them online. They might post them on YouTube, and you can get these updates without actually physically having to be there, which I would actually recommend that you just do it that way. But you need to meet officials, right? And you can't meet them behind the computer. It's good to get into the meeting and understand the information and know more what's going on in the city, but you're not going to meet these people. And you're going to sometimes need to meet these government officials to get projects approved and to move things along. So address concern, build goodwill, and avoid public opposition. All right. Like I said, you are a community builder. And for you to be a community builder, it takes relationships, and it takes, once you get public opposition against you, it's going to be very hard for you to push that project through. So being that conduit to community, and having your face out there and people really getting to know you and understanding that, hey, listen, that Sam's a great guy. Sam's going to do what he says he's going to do, and he's about building community. He's going to build a park over here. These are the types of things that communities gravitate to. And if you're not doing that and you're just like, hey, listen, I'm just here for the money, I'm telling you right now, if you're just chasing money, you're probably going to have a problem. All right. You have to build community first. Right? Overpaying for the land and land appraisal, determine the fair market value. All right. That's a nightmare. Compare recent sales, check prices of similar parcels, negotiate terms, be prepared to walk away if necessary. So in any real estate transaction, you make your money on the purchase, and that has never changed, and it's tried and true. You make your money on the purchase of that particular parcel. All right, forgetting contingencies in the contract. Due diligence contingencies allow for inspections and surveys. Zoning permit contingencies protect against regulatory issues. Legal review, work with experienced real estate attorneys. So these are all things that could be tripwires, right? So the due diligence and contingency is happening before the zoning and permitting contingency is happening before, with the land use attorney, making sure that he goes in front of the city and he argues on your behalf to get that approval for that land use, and so that project can move forward in their next stage. There's a big opportunity in land acquisitions if you know how to jump through the hoops of preparing that parcel so you could sell it off to a developer. It becomes highly more valuable with the approvals rather than a piece of parcel that has not. So take the time, get the proper approvals, and then now you have a package that's very valuable to someone that just wants to get a project off the ground very quickly. All right. Lack of expert guidance. All right. So your experts are going to be your real estate agents, is going to be your attorneys, going to be your engineers, going to be your architects. And one area that I don't want you to just glance over, you need expert coaching, right? I have a coach. Michael Jordan had a coach. I coach people on how they should look at new development. So you need a coach to guide you, right? It doesn't make sense for you to take on a project and then blunder it. Now you have investor money involved, and then now you have legal issues. This is a highly litigious business. So it's going to be important that you have these pieces in place so they guide you, to, so to speak, the promised land. All right. So you need to have a coach. You need to have attorneys. You need to have real estate agents. You need to have the right architect, engineer, and designers, etc. All right. So what are some of the key takeaways from this? Thoroughly do your due diligence. All right. That's the most important. That happens up front. Have an expert team. All right. And then community engagement. It's all about building community. All right. So I hope that you got a lot from this particular video, and check out other videos that allows you to get educated on the process. Also, visit us at theprodesignbuilder.com if you have any interest on becoming a pro design builder. Have a great day.